Can you really progress with a project for a Super League with 5 or 6 teams?
Look. I think to be frank and honest, no. Evidently, that's not the case. So, I mean, I wouldn't be talking so much about where that project has gone. I remain convinced of the beauty of that project, of the value it would have developed to the pyramid, of the creation of the best competition in the world. But admittedly, no. I mean, I don't think that project is now still up and running. Look, I have had speculation to the extent that if 6 teams would have broken away and would have threatened the EPL, politics would have seen that as an attack to Brexit and their political scheme. So, I mean, if we enter into this kind of considerations while we're talking about the freedom of enterprise, we evidently have to rethink our system.
Was it because of the reaction of public opinion, or was it they were afraid of action from the government?
This is a question that should be asked to them, but they were quite clear, and it seemed to me like a very organized situation, which is fair enough in our industry, as the press release of the clubs were matched by a press release by UEFA in real time. So it looked like an orchestrated move, as UEFA said, to bring back in the fold the clubs, which again, it shows the kind of governance that they apply on us. I don't regret. I normally ponder my positions carefully. And again, whatever, when I look back at how the institutions were behaving, there is a pre-COVID and a post-COVID world. While phase one, the crisis management was exemplary by all parties involved when I think about spring of 2020, I think in phase two, in the crisis management, I feel it has left clubs to suffer short, medium, and long-term impacts, while regulators got back to business with national team football and selling its competition in just an attempt to consolidate their position in the marketplace. I think what remains critical at the moment is the long-term stability of the system, which is something that our current regulators simply do not take into consideration. I think and still believe that the SL project would have brought that stability to the system. It would have brought stability to the main investors in infrastructures, in players development, in grassroots. It would have given that stability which is required. The rest, I can see where they're coming from. Other comments that resemble greediness, but I would push back that because it's simply that today football, it's an economic industry, and we must take that into account. And we're still regulated by statutes and bylaws that were written in the 1930s with no evolution whatsoever to the governance of the world surrounding them.
You have to, at some stage, sit down with Seferin and apologize or make a phone call at some stage and go over what's happened.
We have also stated that, a Super League would have started as soon as practicable, and we would have stayed within the system if that would have meant starting at some point in the future. So we've always said that was going to be the path. We are still currently competing in current Champions League. What we got, and it's something that it should make you think, we got massive threats. We got threatened to not kick out clubs currently competing in competitions. We got players threatened to be prevented from playing in national team competitions. And this should give you an idea of the kind of behavior they have. And that those elements should be looked after. I think given the interim measures that a court provided us, demonstrates the fair grounds on which the SL project based itself. And that is the basis from where to start talking again with the regulators and the institutions. In my case, I will look at the glass half full, and this will give me time to focus on Juventus alone, which is my love. And so that will give me time, and I will not have to juggle with various different European interests, because being the chairman of the ECA has been a fantastic experience, but you have to put together the interests of Manchester United and Helsinki, which is not always evident. So what has happened for me is, like, I thought this was a project that was a game changer for the industry. I've diligently resigned from my international positions. Given what has happened last night, this will give me time to focus 110% on Juventus, and I will do that with the passion I have always had.
Now